Good evening, everybody in DPF land. Welcome to season 2, episode 22 of DPF On Tap. 7 All-Stars, question mark, exclamation point. That's what I'm calling it today. Just remember, DPF On Tap brought to you every week by Pensive Technology. Check them out today for your networking, internet, and home automation needs at pensivetechnology.com. Well, good to see you, boys. Sorry I missed last week. Little craziness on vacation. But
Welcome back, Mike.
Thanks, man. But we've had some stuff go on, and I think I just want to jump right in, and I want to take a question from X, formerly known as Twitter, at Conspiracy Theorist 3, asks specifically Dugan, could Harper's injury have been Fugazi? I think it's a way to get the fans to feel like not running out some ground balls is okay after he comes back. What are your thoughts?
Nah, I don't think that's true at all. I think he's obviously got hurt, and I don't think he's a guy that likes to miss games. He looks miserable on the bench during these games. I think he wants to play. So, but don't be surprised if he jogs out a few more now that he's had this injury. It may be something that we got to deal with the rest of the season. Him taking that a little easy and only pushing it when he knows he's got a chance to stretch a single, no double. But those routine ground outs, I think we're going to see the slow trot down the line for the rest of the season.
I think the thing that clinched it for me, I totally agree with you, was the interview directly after the game where he says, I have never had an injury like this before and it hurts. And I don't know if everybody on the crew here has pulled their hamstring, but I have, and it is not fun. It was a really bad one in high school. I was playing football and I got high load and I ripped my hamstring. And it was all of 2 months to come back. So when I heard him say that, I was like, I have felt that. And so, that soft tissue injury, I think we got really lucky with him because it could have taken a lot longer like Trey Turner's did. But apparently he's, either tomorrow or in the near future. So cool. Chris, with Schwarber almost 100% to return to the lineup tomorrow, and like we were just saying, Harper soon after, if not tomorrow, who are the guys drawing the short straw to go back to Lehigh, do you think?
It's Clemens and Rojas, and there's not even a shed of a doubt. I'm 100% sure. I bet everything I have on it. They love Pache and they love Murrayfield, and they don't want to admit mistakes, and they have options. So there's no doubt it's them too. Clemens has no place here. Rojas has no place here with them two coming back. So they're gone.
The only other thing was I was wondering if one of the bullpen pieces might go, but I agree with you.
Yeah, I don't know. Right now with the fifth starter, I think they need all the bullpen they can get.
I agree. That was what I was going to say. That fifth starter, you don't know how deep those guys are going to go into games. We saw that yesterday. Mercado, inning in 2/3 or whatever the hell he got through. So could be a few more starts like that in the future. So
really quick, since it's usually Bud, Alex. Whoa, that's the wrong one. Alex beat Bud at 7 o'clock in a couple of seconds.
Good work.
Alex, then Nancy, then Bud. Phil was a whole minute behind, so.
Oh, gotta step it up, Phil.
Come on, Phil. Cool. All right. I think we just throw this out there to the group, and Johnny, maybe you can start. Phillies still own the best record in baseball with both the most wins and the best winning percentage. Why does it feel like they've taken a step back this month?
Combination of things. Injuries is obvious, but other than injuries, nobody at the plate wise, no one's really stepping up at what Trey Bohm here and there. stop struggling this year. Casty's Casty. The guys we signed, like they'll have a moment here or there. Like Marshall's had a couple moments, Stubbs had a couple moments, but not enough. And it's like it's enough that you have a slump or a struggle. But it seems with these guys, when they have it, it's like it's okay to for one guy or two guys, and the rest of the lineup picks it up. But when these guys do it, they do it all together in unison. It's like they get together yo, man, we're all going to slump the fuck out of the shit out of today. And they all don't hit together. So that's definitely a factor. The bats aren't coming alive and backing up some of these pitchers. When perfect example yesterday with Mercado. I mean, the bullpen held it together, and it stayed 5-0 for a while until Phillips let up that 6th run. The bats didn't do nothing. So it's the bats. Certain starters struggling and having to go to the pen early, using the pen early, like Ranger struggling, and the 5th spot we were just talking about. I think it's just a combination of things, and I think they hit that lull. Like maybe they're just hitting that lull right now, and then they'll after the break they'll step out of it and hit the road with guns blazing.
Listen, guys, they're 15-11 in June. It's great with 3 other dudes out. They're 3-3 in July. But my big question is, what have the Phillies front office done to make this team better? At all?
I don't think they're going to do anything till the deadline. I think because even we were saying they're falling back. They seem to have taken a step back. They've really only lost one game in the standings to the Braves. I still think they're front running this division, and I think Dombrowski's going to play that to the very end. Because if you start making deals now, I think you got to give up more than you want to make a deal happen this far before the deadline. So I think if they play the long game, they wait it out. If it starts getting to be a 5-game lead, they start. But I expect with Harper and Schwarber coming back, and JT's not that far. I didn't expect them to keep up the winning pace that they had to start the season. I mean, they were playing 700 ball into May. They weren't going to play that way. And Ranger was going to keep an ERA at 1.7, 1.8 all season. And neither is Sanchez. They're going to fall back into who they are, which is certainly good enough to keep winning ball games. But I think they'll make moves, closer to deadline. You keep hearing the big, Bellinger and, Robert, which I really am not crazy about. You got the kid out in Oakland, that they're talking about. So, I mean, I think a move's coming. I think they know they can't survive with the outfield production that they have right now. And, you're not getting anything out of Pache and Merrifield. Off the bench, Rojas is, and Casty's up and down. Marsh can't hit lefties. I don't know if a left-handed pitcher put a ball on the tee, I don't know if Marsh could hit it. So I think deadline. You'll see, Chris. You'll see some moves. They got to be all in. You got to be all in with this team playing the way they are.
I don't. You trade everyone.
Yeah.
You trade everyone. I don't give a fuck. Aiden Miller, he could be the next best thing. I want a World Series. I don't give two shits if they're good next year. I want to win this year.
Got a question for you guys. Do you think, remember a couple of years ago when we snagged Sosa, that was before the deadline. You think we'd make a little move like that, like a little Sosa-like move? A little small one, you know what I mean?
If you don't have to give up much, I would do it.
What did we give up for him? I don't even remember.
It was Jojo Romero, I know was in Jojo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was
He's turned out to be decent.
You have to look at a 5th starter at this point. I mean, we just need a Ben Rivera, some guy who can pitch.
Yeah, we need.
Is Walker coming back? Do we want him back? Mercado, listen, I don't know if we're going to talk about him later, but he got lucky in his first outing. He was right over the plate the whole fucking game. And you know what he was in the second game? Either in the dirt or right over the fucking plate. So he's not the dude yet. I mean, he may be, but not now. He's not a fucking 5th starter on a World Series possible team. And Abel sucks. Abel's fucking terrible.
Yeah, he can't throw strikes.
He's 7 ERA, I think, right now.
His fastball is as straight as pool cue, man. I was
Trade-
there and watched it.
Him and
Well,
McGarry.
go ahead. I was just saying it kind of just rolls right into the next question I had is, are we concerned about Ranger, or is this just a little blip and he'll rebound?
Fuck them kids, man. He's got too much on his mind. Fucking bedtime stories, the fucking whoopee, all that shit. You know, his fucking wife. You know, Ranger doesn't want his wife's cooking. Ranger wants the fucking Grubhub. Like, I feel like there's so much that's changed in Ranger's life, and he's like, shit, I just wanted to play baseball and not have a heartbeat.
Yeah. I think another factor, too, I think that's definitely a factor because he used to live in the bachelor life. Now, I don't know if the Phillies, I don't know if they're like the Flyers and all them. I don't know if they do roomies or anything, but he's used to, you know, living the bachelor life, you know, one little toothbrush or whatever. Now his whole world's rocked. Like, damn, I got to find dinner for these people and feed them and stuff. But I think another factor is too, and we touched on it before on other episodes, is this is the most he's thrown at this point of any season so far. Like, he usually has the visa issues or comes to camp later and all. Like, he's got 108. I looked it up earlier. 108 innings pitched so far right now, and last year he had 125 125 total. So he's almost at like 155 and 22, 106 and 21. So he's like, it could be just fatigue from, like, you know, he's not used to that.
The visa issues are such a scam too. I fucking hate that, because you know what? Like, you guys know I like soccer. Like, Leo Messi's from Argentina. He had no fucking problem getting here. Leo Messi was here like the fucking next day.
Yeah.
But Andre Blake, he's in Jamaica, which, you know, we have close ties to. I'd assume all the fucking tourism. But yeah, this dude's in there for fucking 2 months before he can come back. But Ranger's probably like, I don't know. I don't even know where the fuck he's from, Venezuela or something. He just is like, fuck it. I don't want to go. I don't want to pitch in Clearwater. Fuck that shit.
Yeah. The other thing I'm going to throw in with Ranger is, you know, maybe it's JT not being around. And a guy who's caught him his whole career and can kind of pick up on what's working and what's not, you know, can put him in good positions to make the right pitch at the right time. And maybe these guys, Stubbs and Marchand, just don't have that same rhythm or feel with Ranger right now that JT has. Because, I mean, he's two different pitchers from when JT was here. And I agree, John. I think the innings might be a problem, and the families definitely might be a problem. Yeah. I think there's a lot of things. He took the line drive off the arm, you know, a few starts ago. That could be a factor.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, again, like I said before, I didn't expect them to be in the 1.7s and 1.8s all year. I think, you know, Ranger Suarez being the Ranger Suarez he was the past few years, being in the mid to low threes, that's good enough to win a lot of ball games. He's given up a lot of hard contact the last couple of starts, so hopefully he, you know, if it's a dead arm or whatever, he figures it out.
So, Dugan, like, with John, like, as long as you say Stubbs is fucking up, like, John's on that side. Like, he's like, I totally agree. And the other thing I'm thinking is, like, did anyone ever think that, you know, they had that wristband that, like, Stubbs isn't somehow, like, just doing a Spotify playlist instead of calling, like, you know, fastball low and inside. He's like, I don't know, like, I'm going to do Gasolina. I like some fucking reggaeton. I'm going to add that.
Could be.
You know, it's all about.
Maybe let Ranger call his own game, you know, let him call the game and see what happens, you know.
Why can't JT call it from the dugout? You know what I mean? Something like that. But I also have one other suggestion. Should we maybe have Bohm and Ranger get an apartment by themselves? They could have their families bunk up together, like Stott, because Stott's, you know, since he's become a dad, I don't think he's gotten enough sleep. And it's affecting him at the plate.
This dad stuff's getting out of control too, because, you know, fucking JT and Bryce and Kyle are sitting home. Like, 9 months, we're gonna have another fucking baby. They're gonna be out. All three.
That's true. That's true. I didn't know Wheeler had like 8 kids too.
No,
by the way,
Stubbs. I don't want to see a little baby beer hat like crawling around. I will snap the fuck out. Another thing with Ranger though too is I heard this morning, which I thought was interesting. You know how they interview he's got the translator after a game. T-Mac was on the Fanatic earlier, and they said Ranger told him he was having problems finding his changeup lately and locating his curveball.
That's a key. That's a key to him. I mean, that changeup that sets up everything, and if he's struggling with that, you know, that changes the way he has to pitch because he doesn't have an overpowering fastball. You know, he's not going to blow the ball by guys. Right. So, you know, he's got to set them up with that changeup to make his fastball look that much faster. So that you know,
I don't know the stats, but right-handers are murdering him right now. Suarez murdering him, and that's the changeup.
Yeah,
I can see if I can find.
That's another thing too. That's another thing too. What you mentioned a little bit ago, Dugan, with when he got hit in the hand and all. Someone mentioned earlier today on the radio, maybe he's like trying to grip the ball different or something. Like maybe he's afraid. You know what I mean? Like
could be
that could be affected him. Could be a number of things. I'm not totally worried right now, but I mean,
did you find it, dude?
They're hitting 215. Righties are hitting 215 against them right now with 6 home runs.
I'm wondering lately. Yeah, like lately.
It might be recently, yeah. I don't know if I can break this down. This is the whole season.
No worries.
It's funny because lefties, he doesn't face any lefties. I was just looking it up too. He's only had 79 at-bats against the left-handed batter this year. Like they just stacked the deck right-handed at him.
I was looking up his splits too. He's better at home and at night. I mean, end of day too. He's undefeated at home, but I mean, it's like I looked up his numbers. He's better at home at night. I'm like, all right, let's just play him in night games.
Last 30 days batting average against is 308. So that's not a good sign.
That's not good.
All right. Just remember, everybody, when you're out and about and you're in Citizens Bank Park, maybe K-Lot, K33 possibly, grab some Philly Standard. It's the beer everybody on this podcast is drinking, and it's made in Philadelphia. Just remember, if you're drinking a beer that's made in another city, it's like wearing that city's jersey to Citizens Bank Park. It's not cool, man. Don't do it. Let's dive in. So we called this podcast 7 All-Stars. So let's talk a little bit about that. I think, just kind of a round robin here. We could start with Chris. 7 All-Stars were chosen for the Phillies. That's a franchise record. What are your thoughts on the players representing the best team in baseball? And were there any snubs? Just as a reminder, it's Harper, Turner, and Bohm, Hoffman, Strahm, Suarez, and Wheeler. And I got a couple of snubs laid down, but I'll let you talk first.
Everyone on our team was well-deserved, right? I mean, I guess Turner, maybe not as much. He was out for too long. Like, should he start? I don't know. I was looking back at, like, old All-Star games, and truth be told, I don't watch it. I don't remember the last time I watched it. I just don't find it fun. I don't like it. It's meaningless. I like that my guys get there. But when you look, I was looking at 84 and 85 and 83, kind of like when we were like 9, 10, 11. It's always the star power that's there. And, that's what brings you there. But, like, it was a different time, right? We never saw the American League play. So it was our chance to. Maybe on, like, the Saturday morning game of the week. As far as the snubs, like, Christian Walker got absolutely fucked by Dugan's boy Alonso. Like, there's no fucking way that Christian Walker does not get in. Like, he has better stats up and down the line, and he's not a complete piece of shit Met. So Walker not getting in is like, what the fuck are they thinking? Like, this dude didn't get voted in. One of the managers was like, yeah, this dude, Alonso deserves to be in. Like, I feel like it's a joke. In the same way, it was probably a joke.
And the Diamondbacks manager is the manager of the All-Star team. How do you not take your own guy?
How do you not take your own dude? Like, I just don't get it. No offense to Willie Mays, but he wasn't a fucking All-Star 25 times. He got there because he's Willie Mays, right? Like
24 times. Come on, man.
And Alonso got there because of last year and because Dugan's like, oh, he's going to be RBI leader and home run leader.
Don't fucking throw me under the bus, bro.
Well, only anyone knows is a Chris, and I don't think we have video of it. So.
Wait a minute, we do have video of it, and I wrote it down.
The Willie Mays thing, though, about all those All-Stars, I read that early in his career there were actually 2 All-Star games in a season, and he would make both of them. So, so that kind of inflates that number that they would have 2 All-Star games back then.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know what years that was, but
double dipping.
So it's funny because I saw a stat. He was in 24 All-Star games and he only played 23 years. So now that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then I was like, you get in the wormhole, you're looking at like, oh, who are these guys that made the All-Star team? And it's like Immaculate Grid makes you do that. And I'm like, fucking Ken Bottenfeld was an All-Star, guys. Damaso Garcia in 84 was an All-Star.
Dominic Brown.
Yeah.
Brown.
Paul
Bird. You have to have
Green.
one representative from each team, and when you suck real bad, you have to pick the least sucky of the sucky players, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. Crazy.
Cool. Johnny, thoughts on Bohm in the home run derby?
I mean, I appreciate the kid wants to go do it and all that, but I'd rather he stay out of it. I'm afraid it's going to jack his swing up. Who I would prefer. See, I messed up. I was talking to you guys in the group chat the other night. I must have been like when they had the finalists for when you voted, all I saw was like Ohtani, Schwarber. I didn't notice, like, I guess I was just automatic with Schwarb's name. I didn't notice Ozuna because I kept thinking, Schwarb's going to be a reserve. Schwarb's going to be a reserve. And then it was Ozuna was ahead of him. I was like, fuck. But if Schwarber had made it, I would have preferred him to be it. But I hope I don't want any of our. I wouldn't even want Harper in it. I just like if we have a power hitter like Schwarber, like that would be the only guy because that's all he does is rake like that. That's how he hits. I don't want it. Bohm's hitting the ball so well this year. I just don't want to jack it up his swing. I hope it doesn't, but I mean, it is what it is. He wants to do it, so I mean, what are you gonna do? But I just don't like it.
I'd like to retract the statement I made in case my wife's watching. I am watching the All-Star game in the garage. That's why I'll be out here that night.
Slick. That's on video too.
Party.
Yeah. I would rather no Phillies be on than Bohm be in there for many of the same reasons. My knee-jerk reaction was we're just getting over 3 like major injuries at the All-Star break or right after with JT. Let's not get him an oblique injury trying to put a little extra oomph on his doubles gap power for this home run derby. It just scares me, that's all. Dugan, what do you think, or who do you think needs the All-Star break the most on the Phillies, and who would you like to see step up after the All-Star break to continue to lead the division and prepare for a red October?
I'm going to pick a couple guys that I think, have struggled most of the year. I think Castellanos needs to get away. I mean, the guy's played every game this year, so I think he needs a little break, step away. And I think Stott does too. I think they've both been huge disappointments so far this year. And it's surprising we still have the best record in baseball. I mean, could you imagine if those guys were playing at 80% of last season? I mean, the Phillies would be running away with this thing. Not that they aren't already up 8 games, but they've been disappointments, and I think that they need to reset, come back, and start the season fresh again after the All-Star break. I'd also like to see Ranger not pitch at all in the All-Star game. I think he needs the time off. Go take your pictures, wave for the camera, sign, get your autographs, do whatever you need to do, but don't throw a goddamn pitch in that game because it's meaningless. So save yourself for the second half, get your rest, maybe play with that changeup a little bit till you find it again. But yeah, I'd like to see the guys that have been struggling that the Phillies are going to need, down the stretch to get their rest and come back ready to go.
Yeah, my knee jerk was Ranger, but my second was I think Witt needs to go somewhere and like get his head straight. He's shown some signs of life over the last couple of weeks. He's gotten on base a couple of times. He's stolen a couple of bases, and I think if he could find again, I'll use your percentage, 80% of the player we thought we were going to get, he will be a huge asset towards the end of the season push.
His biggest problem is, I mean, he hasn't done shit against left-handed pitching this year. I think he's like a 190 hitter against left-handed pitching, and you can't have that. I mean, he's not even good enough to be in a platoon situation at that point, and you got Marsh hitting 150 something against lefties, and Witt hitting 190 something, and Pache's probably in the 180 something. Like, it's just not a good outfield right now. It's not a good bench situation. So he looks washed to me. That's the sad part. I think Witt looks washed. He's kind of looked that way since the second half last year. Just time has caught up to him, I think. We'll see.
So I follow Twitter because I want to get like up-to-date things as we're talking, because sometimes something could happen. So there is something I'd like to announce. Andrew Knapp is actually going to be at the All-Star game. He's giving out the Home Run Derby necklace. He's going to present it.
You
gotta know your role. You gotta know your role.
Yeah, he's there.
Alonso, when he's deadlifted in the back in the cages.
Napper.
Let's see here. Major League Baseball draft is during the All-Star break. Are there any positions or players you think should be focused on, Joni?
Yes, I think catching. And there's not enough catching depth in our ranks. We got plenty of infielders that are blocked right now, so none of that. But pitching and catching, I think strongly. There's actually a dude I got my eye on. They got him in mock drafts going. I only know of him because I've seen him play a couple games and I've seen highlight film. The kid's phenomenal. I don't know how to pronounce his name, and I feel bad, so I apologize if I his last name anyway. His first name's Gerangelo. His last name's Cijntje. So I don't know if it's Sint J. I'm gonna just attempt that, but he's from Mississippi State. They got him going to the Braves at 24. The Phillies picked 27th. If he somehow falls, the kid's a switch pitcher. I've never seen this shit before, but I've seen highlights of him. He's better at his right side, but he could throw heat with his left too. And they're talking about it's highly likely that he'll have to switch to the right as he hits the pros and ditch this switch pitching. But he can 98 mile per hour fastball, mid 80s slider, which is nasty, and a decent changeup on the right side. Left side's more of a upper 80s, low 90s fastball with a solid slider. And scouts like him more from the right side, but I've seen him throw from both sides. It's just I've never seen shit like that before, so I get geeked out when I see film on him. But they said he offers more of a reliever kind of slot than he does a starter. So if we could if he drops to us, if we could pick up, and he's a sophomore, so he's not one of these high school kids the Phillies love to pick. He's done a couple of years of couple of years at Mississippi State. He was actually drafted by the Brewers. He was highly ranked out of high school, drafted by the Brewers, but then he went to Mississippi State. So he's coming out as a sophomore. If he drops to us, why not, man?
Cool. Hey,
let's
get
Miller to the outfields, draft outfielders, and avoid any high school pitchers because they're fucking terrible.
Yeah, no high schoolers. I hate their obsession with these high school kids.
So let's get a couple of opinions and questions from the comments. Rick says, of all the outfielders available, who do you like most?
I like Happ. Happ's a nice bat, but I've always been a Bellinger guy. I like Bellinger. I don't know how much you're going to have to give up to get him. And he's really a rental because he's got an opt out after this season. So you don't want to really put too much into Bellinger to get him if he can opt out of his contract after this year. But he's a guy I've always had on my radar. I've just always liked. And he can play first. He can play the outfield.
Is he a Boris dude, Chris?
I think he might be. Yeah, I think he might be.
Maybe.
Yeah. But he's got that opt out, which scares me a little bit, giving up, a big time prospect for a guy that is essentially a 3-4 month rental. But
motherfuckers don't like to opt out when they get one of these.
It's true. That is true. That is true.
What are you going to opt out for, man? You want another one?
That's true.
Or two.
Yeah.
Then John Vig, do you see the Phillies getting Oakland's closer Mason Miller? Anyone?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
He's too fresh.
Closer by committee is their motto, and I think that's what they're going to do.
And he's too fresh too. Like let's see what he's doing next year. You know what I mean? You don't want to go get a guy like that and he throws his arm out. You know what I mean?
Steve says you can have everyone. I'll give you all of Jersey Shore for a closer and an outfield bat.
Yes.
Is this the MTV show or like the actual Jersey Shore? Because that'll make a difference in the decision.
The Weather Center, World Series or bust. I'm sick of waiting. Whatever it takes. He's screaming. Whatever it takes. Also, fuck the Mets and fuck the Braves.
Yo, if you aren't watching this guy's weather forecast, it's better than anything that's ABC, Adam Joseph, it's fucking hilarious, and it's dead
awesome. Yeah,
he called where the fucking hurricane's going to hit in the U.S. Other people are like, yeah, it's going to go to fucking Mexico, and no, he's like, it's going to be in between Galveston and Houston. Where the fuck's it at?
Right there. Phil says, do you think they could unload Walker? Likely have to eat some salary if they can. We've talked about this.
Maybe next year. What's it? It's the third year or 4 next year. Maybe possibly next year. I don't see it happening this year.
Yeah, he got 2 injuries already this year too. So
yeah,
I don't know who's going to be interested in taking him for any amount of money.
He's a turd.
That's a simple answer.
Yeah.
I mean, to your point, this is pretty funny. Lesson: women ruin baseball players.
Yo, Mick from Rocky knew. He's like, women weaken legs, man. You got fucking range. What's the most important part of a pitcher, guys? We know this. It's the legs.
Yeah.
Fucking Rangers out there with one leg.
Guy wants to go out and box and win the world championship. The bitch works in a fucking pet store.
Jesus Christ. That turtle just died.
The fuck
Sig says Ranger might be suffering from a little arm fatigue, maybe misses JT, kind of what we were saying. Cool. We'll move on. All right, guys. Hey, Chris.
Yep.
Who'd you like to? Oh, we just talked about that. Never mind. We'll skip that one. So 26-year-old Tyler Phillips spent 9 seasons in the minor leagues and debuted yesterday against the Braves. In his first outing, he threw 4 innings, gave up 3 runs, 3 hits, 1 earned run on a homer, walked 0, and struck out 7, which is a new Phillies relief pitcher debut record, one that stood since 1901.
Yeah.
Mercado's been groomed as a long reliever in AAA. Should the Phillies give Mercado another shot or go with Phillips until Turnbull and or Walker are healthy? What do you think, Dugan?
Oh, I thought you were going to Christie. Curveball me there.
I did.
Yeah. I'd probably give Mercado another start. And kind of piggyback with Phillips like they did yesterday. They had that kid just kind of in waiting. And then bring him in again, give him another extended look. And if he throws that well again, then maybe you flip him for the next start. But I'd give Mercado one more chance. He threw well at AAA, Mercado. I mean, Phillips, I think his ERA was in the mid-4s when he got called up. So it wasn't like he was lighting the world on fire. Now, he looked great yesterday, but Mercado definitely threw the ball better in the minors, or Phillips would have been up here sooner. So I give him one more start, see where it goes before I flipped him.
Sounds good. Help me with this, guys. Guys, if you go to SeatGeek and you put in the code Drunk Phil's Fan, all capitals, no spaces, you get $20 off your first
Someday.
purchase. So hopefully we did.
$20.
I don't remember that girl's name, but I will remember that for the rest of my life. Yeah, go to SeatGeek, check it out. $20 off your first purchase. Drunk Phil's Fan, all one word. I screwed the pooch a little, and I wanted to do a trivia on All-Star Game. Can we do that now? You guys go with that?
Yeah.
Awesome. So with Alec Boehm and Trey Turner joining Bryce Harper as starting infielders in the All-Star Game this year, it's the first time the Phillies have had 3 starting infielders in the All-Star Game since Mike Schmidt, Pete Rose, and Manny Trio started for the NL in what year? Remember, call your name if you want to answer.
John.
Go.
81.
Not correct.
Dugan, 80.
Not correct.
I'll say 82.
Correct answer. 1982. Manny Trio, Pete Rose, Mike Schmidt. Last time Phillies have had 3 starters in the All-Star Game. Thought that was kind of cool.
Do we think Bryce is going to play?
It's a great question. Let's talk about it. I drove for 10 hours yesterday from Michigan, come home from vacation, and one of the things I was talking to Natalie about is just exactly this. What does he do? He got voted in #1 in the whole entire National League, right? So kind of to your point with Ranger, Dugan, does he go there and shake hands and kiss babies and take pictures and sign autographs and, just kind of put the uniform on and tip his cap and then go sit on the bench? Or does he roll out there for the first pitch and then he, they bring in Alonso? Like, what do you guys think is going to happen?
I do one at bat since he was the leading vote getter. Let him get one at bat, tip his helmet, and call it a day.
Yeah, I don't really want him to I'd rather the kissing babies and photo ops and all that shit and just watch from the dugout. But I mean, Harper, he's going to want to play. So, I mean, if he does play, what's he going to play? Like an inning or 2 anyway? Like to start, and then they bring in the other guys. I think
Bryce is going to say he's not going to play, and Christian Walker is going to get his rightful spot. He's going to do the right thing.
There you go. That would be a good gesture.
He's going to do the right thing.
That would be a good gesture because he did get snubbed.
I take that compromise.
Just don't get hurt. That's all. Just don't hurt yourself, dude. You just came back.
You don't want to go to fucking Arlington in July. It's like 9,000 degrees there. I mean, I know he's a Vegas dude, but it's dry heat, right?
Yeah.
And they'll probably have the roof open for the derby and shit, sweating their ass off.
I mean, the oven is a dry heat. You don't want to stick your head in there, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I think this is a good spot. Let's do a dumbass of the week. Ode to Bud. Bud, this one's for you, my friend. Also, tip of the cap to Amanda for challenging me to find one from Philadelphia. So, Philadelphia man charged after tossing firearm and fleeing from the police. We'll call this guy Knox. So, Knox faces up to 15 years in prison after being indicted on charges of possession of a firearm by a felon. So that means our buddy Knox is a felon already. He's got a firearm on him. And when the police go to arrest him on a warrant, he resists arrest. And in the scuffle, Knox decides to take the loaded firearm that he has on him and throw it into the street. And then I'm using air quotes for those of you just listening, a person nearby retrieved the firearm and tossed it into a wooded area. So after the altercation and Knox being placed under arrest and into the police vehicle, the police go to look for the firearm that this, again, air quotes, person threw into the woods. While the police were looking for the firearm in the woods, someone, again, air quotes, opened the door to the police vehicle and Knox was able to escape. And remember, this was on May 13th. So
wait, who opened the door? Was it Larry Krasner?
So great question. The person and someone allegedly is Knox's girlfriend. So there's many levels of a dumbass I'll get to in a second. So that was May 13th. On May 15th, the police caught up with Knox again with 2 warrants this time. And in as backup, they brought the United States Marshal Service with them. All this falls under something called the Protect Safe Neighborhoods program in Philadelphia, a program aimed at reducing violent crime and gun violence across the city of Philadelphia. So there is a number of dumbasses in this situation. Let me count them down for you. Knox, a convicted felon, has a gun, chucks it into the street, resists arrest, escapes, and then gets arrested 2 days later. So he's your first dumbass of the week. The second dumbass is the person and someone who's the same person, allegedly his girlfriend, who is also now under arrest and facing charges. And to me, the third is the police officer that left the guy unattended and let someone open the back door of the cruiser and let this guy that it just took them a bunch of effort to apprehend and arrest get away scot-free. So for 2 days. So those are your 3 dumbasses of the week, bud. Amanda from Philadelphia. Hope you like that one.
It's funny, we hear this and I'm like, in 4th of July around here, and I'm like, I don't know. Well, you weren't here, but you've been here. It's always playing a game. 4th of July is a great time to be a Philadelphian. It really is, because the cradle of liberty and all of that. It's the one day where Philadelphians stop murdering each other and murder the sky. So.
You definitely do not want to go to Chicago anytime around the 4th of July. Between the 3rd and yesterday, 17 people were shot in Chicago. It's crazy.
Did you see what happened in LA? They put a ban on fireworks in LA. So, of course, every single fucking house in LA was shooting. And you see this LAPD helicopter trying to dodge all these fireworks. They had this video. God. It's insane. Everywhere in every neighborhood in downtown, we're like, fuck that ban. And just light them off. It was nuts.
That is nuts. All right, back to a couple more questions, then we'll get to some more viewer comments, and then we'll get going here. But after an extended view of our top 2 backup catchers the last month or so, in your opinion, Chris, who should we keep on the big league roster when JT is back after the All-Star break? And part 2, what should we do in the offseason to maybe bolster this important position for next year?
Gosh, it's really tough because we know it's coming down to that, and these guys are auditioning, but they love the status quo. There's no chance that Marchand is going to overtake Stubbs for this time. And, I do think emotional intelligence and part of that whole what he means to the team and dugout is important. But honestly, we know that JT can't be catching 125, 130 games. And we also know that Stubbs probably isn't good enough to do it for 50 or 60 is what we need. I think they ride Stubbs out. And then I think at the end of the year, Marchand hasn't shown enough to me where he could be the guy. I would probably give it to him in case that, money's an issue, but I don't want to make decisions based upon money. Middleton has tons. Fucking games are selling out. I just want the best team available. I think that you have to get a really good catcher that would start for 20 of the teams in the major leagues to back up JT, because I want, JT, he's at that point where it's like, it's falling off the cliff point for most catchers at this age very soon, if not now. So I think they ride Stubbs. I don't think they give Marchand the chance, and I don't think either of them are the guy next year.
Cool.
Yeah. The problem with JT too is you can't do. I was talking to you guys the other night about it in the chat. I said problem with JT is you can't do like a Piazza and move him to first. Harper's there, he's blocked. So you have to find a viable backup, like Chris said, 50 or 60 games at least.
I don't know. Didn't Dutch Dalton play right for the Marlins and win a ring? Or maybe, I don't remember. Wasn't it right? Like, I don't know. Fucking play left, JT.
Play right. He
Yeah.
can hit better
Yeah,
than
play center.
and
Play
3B.
right. Hit lefties in center.
Yeah.
So you were talking about Twitter earlier. I saw this on Twitter. At Party Pat wants to know approximately how many beers did DPF admins consume on the 4th of July? So, I mean, I'll start. I'd say I'm in the 10-ish range.
I probably end up in that ballpark. I think I had 6 or 7 at SIGs, and then probably came home with another 4 or 5, so 10 to 12 probably.
Yeah, I didn't make it to SIGs because my back was killing me, so it was like half, hey, 4th of July, and half, go away, babe. So I had about 12 or 13. I was feeling the punch, Mike.
Nice.
I'm going to refuse to answer that question on the grounds that it may incriminate me. So
That's 15. So 10, 22.
15 plus.
I'll just say it was
30.
double figures. One of the funny things is, like, yesterday, it was like the whole 4th of July weekend. Like, I tore it up a little bit on the 4th, but I was here and it's 6, so it's close. And then yesterday, I go out and drink the fucking menu. Like, I literally drank, minus IPAs, they don't count. I drank the fucking menu at Union Jack's, and then I didn't have enough. And I was like, let's stop here. Stop at this place, Hollywood Tavern. It's all fucking smoking. Like, the bartender's got a fucking Capri. This dude next to me has a Moore. And I was like, let me get one, buddy. And I was like sitting there fucking smoking a Moore, drinking a Miller High Life. It was fucking phenomenal.
There's a bar you can smoke at still?
Yeah.
Yo, is it the Hollywood up in Rutledge or however?
Yeah.
I always wanted to. They used to have a sign that said Meatloaf Mondays, and I always wanted to go and have their meatloaf, and I just never went. I don't know.
Well, it's definitely flavored with smoke. Like, I came home, and I was there for one drink. I came home, and it was like 1994 at fucking Roosevelt's.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. And Renee, like, her hair smelled like a fucking ashtray. It was fucking great.
That is
I'll
great.
never go back, but I loved it. It was cool.
Shit, now you got to give me directions.
Still has the exemption too, don't they? The old Sweeney's, they still have the exemption.
No, they don't, because it changed its currents now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I was gonna
I didn't want to go in there after I quit. I'm like,
They had a spittoon over there. I was gonna fucking pack in a fatty of Kodiak and just,
So no,
like, do you remember that, getting Copenhagen or Kodiak and putting a little whiskey in it and just letting it
100%. You
Fucking
got to put it in the
love
freezer
that
first,
shit.
too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. God damn.
I remember. Cool. Yeah, well, I'm glad I asked you that. By the way, just at Party Pat, we're at approximately 50 between the 4 of us ish. Johnny, one last question, and then we'll get to some viewer comments and wrap her up. So, the anniversary of that 4:40 a.m. ending doubleheader in 1993 was the other day. Do you miss scheduled doubleheaders? Do you think do you think they should be sprinkled into the schedule still?
Yeah, but with I'm gonna go old school, and then I guess I'm gonna tend to the lesser of the narrow-minded of the attention spanners, the short attention spanners. I think they should sprinkle in maybe a few, maybe 4. And yeah, they should be single cost. Like, like, what are you really losing? Like, you're going to make all that money in the concessions and people buying jerseys and T-shirts and all that shit. You know, like, what are you going to really lose by, you know, just charging one price for admission? But I think they should sprinkle a few in there, but not too many because, you know, you're trying to grow the game and you're trying to get the young people into it. So, like, they might be bored, you know, boo-hoo. I mean, part of me wants to say, you know, go fuck yourself, don't come. But you gotta, you know, you gotta interest some new people that, you know, might have not watched the game before or might have not been interested before, or young kids coming up. So I would say, yeah, I'd say sprinkle a few in there, like that aren't makeup games. I do miss it. I do miss those 505ers on a weeknight. It was awesome. And like, I remember the one time my mom took us all down, me and my stepsisters, my stepbrother, and there was a rain delay, and we braved it out, and we didn't get home till like midnight, and we had school the next day. We didn't I mean, it was like towards the end of the school year anyway, and it was great. Like, we waited it out, and we watched a good game. We won that game. But those old 505ers are great. But if they
do you guys remember what the Phillies used to like market them as, like what they used to call those doubleheaders back in the probably Twilight doubleheader? Yeah, love that.
I would love if they did like a Sunday one that started earlier.
That's because you're
Like
46 now. You old bastard.
Well, no, I mean, I'm trying to like maybe take it back to even before our time, like when our dads and our grandparents like were around, like Bunning and all them pitching doubleheaders on a Sunday.
Yeah, when Grover Cleveland pitched to both games.
You know what I mean? Like
an Uncle Badlow doubleheader, like because back like when he used to take me, it used to be like you take the fucking getting home the Broad Street line. 15th Street interchange, you get the Market Frankfurt L, take it to Bridge and Pratt, you take the 73, you get off the 73, it's Lefevre and Richmond, you go to the VFW to see if any of your buddies are there, and I'm like, dude, I'm 10, it's the fucking greatest night of my life. I'm with Uncle Badlow with a bunch of dudes at the VFW, like, you know, and he has his Jackeen's vodka, you know, his little snifter. You know,
definitely smoking heaters too.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
That's like my Uncle Joe.
Was he lighting them off of one another?
Yeah, I think he used to call them like monkey fuck or butt, something like that. Like, you know, just like one after the other. He's like, you just need one match.
That's all.
Yeah, that's like my Uncle Joe. We used to take the 60. We used to take the 60 right over to Broad Street and then take the subs from there. We used to brave that, and then go down and then come back the same way. We would stop at the old Greg's Timeout in the neighborhood. He'd buy me a bag of Cheez-Its, sneak me a little slip of Schmitz.
Uncle Badlow in the 600 level was like fucking Jim Leland cupping fucking smokes in the fucking, you know, in the dugout, like in the little cutout, you know, banging one out. And, it was fucking great, man.
Hey, just really quick, guys, remember, if you go to drunkphilsfans.com, we got some merch that you guys can rep out at if you're Mets game, or if you're going to Citizens Bank Park, like rep the Drunk Phils fan stuff, man. Let's go to a couple of comments. So Nancy likes the idea of JT calling the games. Good use of the PitchCom equipment. And then the Weather Center's like, wait a minute, can JT call up pitches from the dugout? Well, why not? I mean, managers call pitches from the dugout, right?
Yeah, right.
So I don't know the rules and if it's legal for him to have the button, but he could certainly give a sign.
I mean, shit.
Yeah.
You know, Altuve and the gang banged the trash cans from the dugout. Anything's possible, right?
Like I'm trying to keep it legal. Like I don't want to be called cheaters for the rest of the life. Like them.
They were doing an electric shock on their nipples too, weren't they?
Yeah.
Fastball.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Maybe a little code.
Shout out to Fandemic Crew. There's only one thing to do: win the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what Desmond meant, but thank you. Let's see. Again, Desmond, I agree with you. I don't care for them risking future injury for a pointless All-Star game. That's when we were talking about if Harp was going to play.
Yeah.
Why is Wheeler listed as inactive?
Yeah.
Did you
Because
you
he's
guys see that?
pitching the 2 days before, so he's not going to be playing, I think.
Yeah, he's
Is
not
that
pitching.
All-Star inactive, I'm assuming, is what Harry
Oh,
means.
I see.
Yeah.
There you go, Harry. Here you go. Hopefully Steve is drinking rum and looking at a giant hole in his backyard where the pool will eventually be, but he wants to know if we think the Phils will win 2 out of 3. I really believe the Phillies will personally. Thoughts?
Mm-hmm. If Kyle and Harper are back, I have more faith than if they aren't. If they aren't, fat chance. I mean, it's not that I don't have hope. Like Turner and Bohm can't do it all. Like, you know what I mean? Like no one else is stepping up. If Harper and Schwarber are back tomorrow, I think we could do 2 of 3.
Well, who's the pitching lineup? I know it's Wheeler, and I think for them it's the first game is like none of their good guys or better guys.
I think they're hurting. I think they're hurting in a couple spots too, aren't they? Don't they?
Yeah.
Trying to pull
somebody hurt?
it up now.
Well, Betts is out. He's got a broken hand.
Wheeler versus Bobby Miller.
Bobby Miller.
Stinks. Yeah.
6.12 ERA. Then you have Sanchez against Gavin Stone.
Legit.
3.03 ERA. And then the last game is Aaron Nola versus the deadly 2BD. To be determined.
TBD.
That guy's tough.
He's shifty, that guy.
Yeah, I would say 2 out of 3 is we're at home. You have to expect it. And
fuck the
hopefully our
Dodgers.
dudes are
Let's
back.
sweep those motherfuckers. Fuck them.
Fuck them.
Yeah,
they just got blown the fuck out yesterday. I watched that. I watched that later after the Phillies yesterday. The Brewers blew them the fuck out.
Well, Nancy seems to agree with us, and especially if Schwarber and Harper are back. I like this question from Travis. Who should we send back down with Harper, Kyle, and JT coming back? I think there are a few that really stepped up and a few that completely shit in the bed. And so Travis possibly joined late. We were saying probably Rojas and Clemens. But we did not talk about when JT comes back. And
Marchand goes down.
Yeah, I think those are your 3.
So Travis just started a group or a page of Fanatical Phillies. So shout out to Travis and his wife. They're always big supporters of ours. Check them out. We appreciate you.
Travis, put your information in the chat so people can follow you. Fern wants to know, should we go with a 6-man rotation in the second half to keep our guys healthy?
What fucking 6?
Yeah. Who's your 6?
Well, not only that,
5. We don't have 5 right now.
Yeah.
Not only that, it pisses off Nolan Wheeler.
Now that they got their money, ooh, they're like Pat Neshek now. Like, ooh, we can't pitch on that too much
fucking
rest.
say that name. Don't fucking say that
too
name.
much rest.
Fuck the Shaq. Fuck that.
Fuck the Shaq. Remember the Shaq don't pitch back to back. Fuck him.
The Shaq didn't pitch after he warmed up. He was shut down for 3 days after he fucking warmed up. An asshole.
That's another. Yeah, didn't he make the All-Star game for us that year?
Yes, he did make the fucking All-Star. Fuck him. Fuck him anyway. I don't give a shit. He could have won the fucking Cy Young, and I'd say fuck him. Shitbag. It's about winning fucking games, dickhead. Not your fucking arm. Fuck me, Shaq. Fucking asshole. And then they brought him back a second time, the fucking douchebag. They brought him back twice. Fucking asshole.
I hated that motherfucker, man.
Good job, John.
Fuck the Shaq.
I bring the best out of
he angers me like you have like no player in baseball history. Fucking Pat Neshek. I fucking hate that dude.
I think there's more to this. We're gonna have like a little investigative podcast on why Dugan hates Pat Neshek so much. I feel like it's a little bit
guys
deeper.
that have no balls. I hate guys that have no balls.
Yeah.
Relief pitchers should take a fucking ball every goddamn day. Every day you should. What are you gonna come out there and throw fucking 15 pitches? Take the fucking ball every day. This
Ricky
guy,
Bell
you know,
was
if he
talking
wiped
about
his ass more than 4 times, his arm hurt, and he couldn't pitch the next day. You know?
Well, except
Fuck
if
him.
you're Dominguez or Alvarado, I don't want you to have the ball every day.
Yeah.
Right.
Fuck Neshek.
Yeah, Ricky Bell was talking about that. They brought him up on the afternoon show the one time. He's like, "There's dudes." He's like, "I was begging. We lived at different times then. Like, we wanted the ball every fucking chance we could get it."
Colby, he'd throw like 100 games a year. That fucker was, you know, he was always ready to take the ball.
Yeah.
You know, Neshek, god damn it, pitch once a month.
The
And
shit don't pitch back
bitch.
to back. He's an asshole.
Fuck him.
We should do a where are they now episode with Pat.
He's collecting his fucking baseball cards, trying to get all his autographs.
Yeah.
Act like a major leaguer, you're goddamn star fucker.
Okay.
I do hope Walker gets it together this season. I hope he gets it all together, packs up, and gets the fuck out.
I would agree with that.
There you go, Phil.
Papa John. I know we're in first place, but Topper has to do a better job with his pitching decisions. What the fuck?
Yeah. He I hear you, Papa John. When a dude's flaming out and he has no one warming up, it irks my fucking soul. When I was just down the shore, Papa John, we're like, "Where's the fucking reliever at?" Like, he's not warming anybody up. Like, we're screaming at the TV. Like, the dude doesn't. There's certain times where he'll leave someone in too long, or he'll take someone out too early, or if someone's flaming out, he doesn't have someone ready. Like, have someone warming the hell up. Like,
I think it was someone else, but I think we're going to take credit for it. They were like, someone wake fucking Rob Zombie up. I love double entendres. Fucking Rob Zombie is like the fucking greatest. So whoever did that, kudos. We're not paying any royalties to it. So
Travis got the 82 on the trivia. He's the only one that took a stab at it. Nancy agrees with us. Bryce plays 1 inning.
yeah.
Steve likes the dumbass. Sig said Steve didn't have enough beers on the 4th of July. And then Sig said none of you drank enough. That's okay. More for me. What is Steve's back? I like the DH with single admission. Oh, doubleheader with single admission. It's a blast. With the new schedule where you play some non-division game teams, 7 games, have a DH, have a doubleheader for extra game. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Just another extra game for us to bitch about the B lineup playing, though. In those second games of doubleheaders, you get the goddamn the B squad.
and if they lost the first end of the doubleheader, we're getting fucking ripped in between.
Yeah.
Is Travis Lee the old Phillies first baseman? Nope.
Nope.
We're having a whole
Shut that one down.
I love that. Travis put his contact in, so everybody go follow Travis now. Matt, I'm afraid to say this name, but Matt says Neshek is a joke. Dugan
Thank
might
you,
have
Matt.
an aneurysm.
Thank you, Matt.
We liked
Thank
Matt
you.
Brothers Pat more than the other
Nancy.
than Neshek. Pat Combs,
Yeah.
Mike
Oh, right.
Mims. Fuck him.
Nancy said, Dugan, I agree, but don't have a heart attack.
Nancy, you have no idea. My blood boils when that man's name's brought up.
Diane's worried Pat can't get you anymore, Dugan. So
Thanks, Steve.
and then here's a go one we can talk about, and then we can wrap it up. Whoever is scouting for our defensive shifts needs to be fired. We're always in the wrong place. Thoughts, guys?
They play guys
think
to
I've
pull and then they
noticed
pitch
that.
away.
Yeah, well, that's
Right.
yeah.
So I mean, like, here's my thought, Chris. How many times did the infield shift behind you when you were pitching?
Can't recall any.
Never, not
Yeah.
once.
Yeah.
We seem to do okay.
Yeah.
Like, look, why don't you just play the position? Yes, double play depth when it's double play time. if you think you're going to bunt, the third baseman and the first baseman might come in. Sure.
They come
But
in.
why do we have to stand on second base? Like legit, I heard like someone was mic'd up and I heard the guy go, "Hey, Blue, am I good?" Like it's like a wide receiver. Am I on the line? Yeah, you're on the line. Hey, am I good? Yes, you're not too far. It's so dumb, dude.
I would have liked to have my first baseman over the fence in left center if that was possible when I was pitching. That could have helped a few times. I got to be honest.
Nancy, that's why we do them. We figure you guys want to watch the Phils when they're on, so that's why we do them in days off. We appreciate you. All right, let's wrap her up. Johnny, as always, bottom left, fire away, my friend.
I just want to say, I know to Phil, little quick message here to the Phillies, if you're watching. If not, whatever. Someone will get it to you. I get that you're doing good and all, but can you stop robbing people for fucking cheap seats? Johnny likes to go out there with the robe on and the hat. A little too hot for that now, but I got a different alternate version for the hot weather. But I like to pick up a standing room only ticket and just wander around, make my way into passive stove for a nice cold drink. What are you charging $43 fucking dollars for a standing room only ticket for? It jumped freaking $23 just because they're doing better. Like, it's supposed to be an affordable place to take a family, to take your go hang out with your friend or whatever. Keep it the regular price. Don't overcharge. And that's on the regular site too. I'm finding better deals on the third-party apps. SeatGeek, by the way. And I was excited when I said that. Yeah, just a message to the Phillies. Like, read the room, man. It's great that we're doing good and all. You're going to make money. Chill out with the ticket prices. That's all I got for that. A little sound off. Let's take 2 or 3 against the Dodgers. Fuck the Dodgers. Fuck Tommy Lasorda. Fuck Oral Hershiser. That would be a great porno name, by the way, Oral Hershiser. Fuck Darryl Strawberry out when he was a Dodger. Fuck the Tar Pits. I don't know. Fuck LA. Oh, and fuck the Mets and the Braves. That's all I got.
Cool. Dugan?
Yeah, looking forward to getting Schwarber and Harper back. Hopefully, both of them will be back tomorrow. Get the squad back together and start rolling again. I think 2 or 3 from the Dodgers is definitely doable. I don't think the Dodgers are the end all and be all of baseball, and I think the Phillies are. I think the Phillies are that team this year, especially when we're solid in 1 through 9 and we got all our guys. So I'm looking forward to a good series here with the Dodgers. Take 2 or 3, and since John brought him up, fuck Pat Neshek, fuck him.
Chris?
Yeah, fuck Pat Burrell.
Oh no.
I want to say fuck Pat Burrell. Fuck Pat Neshek. And non-baseball related, I want to say fuck Jay Sugarman. Sell the union. You are a fucking terrible owner. You're worse than the Oakland guy. This team is in shambles, and it's because of you. I love the team, and I hate you.
All righty then. All right. Remember, guys, check out Pensive Technology for all your networking, internet, and home automation needs at Pensive Technology today. Go and pick up some Philly Standard. Try the orange. Try the fruit punch, guys. The fruit punch really hits, especially in K33. And
If you're not sure about the first one, have a second or third. They get better.
They get better.
That's it.
If you find your way 2 yards at the tap room, go for the lime on tap. I haven't found it in cans yet. I think it comes out around Eagle season, but they have it on tap. It's amazing. So check them out. And I'll just say it's been an amazing first half ride with this team, best in baseball, 7 All-Stars, the most amount of any team. It's a franchise record. We haven't had 3 starting infielders since 1982. That's amazing. So looking forward to the series leading up to the All-Star break. Looking forward to Bone making it through the home run derby without injuring himself. And really looking forward to seeing what happens when all our guys come back from injury and, what happens towards the deadline at the end of the month. So as always, everyone, thanks for listening and viewing. We do this because we love to talk about the Phillies, and we love that you guys like what we have to say. So I'll just say fuck the Mets, fuck Joe Carter, and fuck Pat Neshek, because if I don't, I think Dugan's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
All right.
everybody. We'll see you
See
next
everyone.
time.